All right, hello everybody. What's up? I'm back. And today we don't really have a set topic. We kind of going with the flow, but we were going to talk about a situation that took place here in Minnesota. A guy by the name of Bobo, I think it was. Um, I guess it's a case where he did something, but he's trying to plead innocent. And from the little bit that I did read, it kind of sounds like he wants to plead innocent based off of certain laws. Correct, Boom? Is that how you read it?
Yeah, I mean, not certain laws. It just seems like he don't feel like he was. Uh, I mean, not quitting. They didn't have his. I don't know how you said it. They basically didn't look out for him, or they didn't give him a fair trial or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like certain things, like oh, they didn't do this right. They didn't do this. They had these. And I read something about gang members being allowed to be in the courtroom or something like that.
Mhm. Yeah, it was a lot to read. I didn't get all the way through that. Purpose of the
Um,
statute.
should we pull it up and stroll it?
I can. I can pull it up for you.
Okay.
It's at the bottom if you want to pull it up.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, this is a whole lot to read. I will have to definitely sit here and actually go through this whole thing. It says he argues that the district courts erred in closing the courtroom to the public the second time James was called to the witness stand. Bobo claims that there was no reason for the district court to believe that James was intimidated by the spectators in the courtroom. As the district court has found that Bobo had not forfeited his confrontation right by intimidating James. Bobo further argues that because the district court's decision to close the courtroom was unsupported by the evidence, it constitutes a structural error requiring automatic reversal. The state argues that there is no evidence to support the court closure of the courtroom. But yeah, this will have to definitely be read all the way through to really understand the whole situation. And I didn't have enough time to read all that to know what was going on. But what I do know is that allegedly there was in a drive-by shooting. He had something to do with it. Um, and I really don't be knowing what to say about these situations. Like, give me something as far as a man being convicted of murder because somebody broke into his house and he killed them, then I can definitely go along with that. Give me something. A man was getting jumped. He started shooting in the crowd. Now they trying to charge him with attempted murder on like five people, but he was just really trying to defend himself and started shooting. I can rock with that, but you doing drive-by shootings. I don't know how to like defend those type of people. Honestly, man, some of these things I don't know what to be saying on some of these situations.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you your point of view on that because, like, you see a lot of these cases where they were actually involved or really involved, but then they try to come out with, well, they did this wrong in the court system and they did that. Okay, so are you asking for no punishment at all, or are you asking for the punishment that fits the crime? Is my question.
Yeah, that's what I definitely would be wondering because a lot of times these people be acting like they just so innocent when they be having something to do with the situation, man. And these people these days, man. I honestly don't know what they be thinking, man, because I'm in my position where I keep my pistol on me, and maybe when I was younger, I might have tried to get away from some shit, run away from some shit. But at the age I am now, I'm not doing no fucking drive by on nobody. Like I'm gonna pop your ass, and I'm gonna wait for the police to come. The fuck, I ain't about to do all that running. I ain't gonna do nothing because at the end of the day, I know why I popped you. I'm not about to just pull up to your house and start shooting. A lot of times people want to be all tough and pull up on people and do all that extra shit. I'm not doing all that, man. See you when I see you. And if I shoot first, then I'm gonna wait for the police to come and tell them what the fuck I did. Like I'm not about to run. Like I don't know. I ain't about to do all that. So some people just be too tough. Some people be too hard. Then they do some old weird ass shit. Now they think it's time for them to run. If you really have a reason to do what you've done, then you shouldn't be running unless you have a felony and you're not supposed to have no gun anyways. But if you got a felony, that's supposed you're supposed to sit your ass down anyways. I don't know.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't know what these people be
Yeah, I don't know what to say about these cases.
on. I don't either, man. Like I told you earlier, man. I don't even be like this stuff used to like excite me or like you know what I'm saying be on my head but like if people are really innocent, like when we talked about Rashad Jamal the other day, like I don't know if he really innocent, but what he's doing in his life, um, I could I could definitely I would look into his case and see what's going on because the stuff that he teaches and the stuff that he the information that he gives out would make me want to wonder why do he have these certain charges on him and stuff like that. I would definitely be intrigued to look into those situations because of the things that he do. But like as far as just some of these dudes who just don't be doing shit, don't got no background, ain't never done nothing for themselves or anybody else, and then get caught up in some shit and expect everybody to sign this petition, sign that petition. Like I don't, that shit don't intrigue me no more. Like, cause I used to just be, oh, pro black, pro black. Oh, they doing it cause he black. They this black shit, this
Yeah,
black shit. But a lot of times niggas don't even be doing shit to change anybody else's lives nor theirs for me to be like, okay, like everybody deserves, you know what I'm saying, the trial, everybody deserves their chance to defend themselves, and even if you're not doing nothing for the people, don't mean that you shouldn't be looked at. But a lot of times, if you a family man, then be a family man. A lot of times people just be out here trying to save face. Like I don't know, so I can't really
yeah,
like have any you know, feelings for their situation, man. I don't know. Figure it out, nigga. That's all I can say. Cause I don't know.
right.
Figure it the
But
fuck
I
out.
know on that particular story, it was news footage where the sister was saying he was innocent, and I don't know. I don't like to hoop and holler unless I got the straight facts.
Right.
If I know that my brother was literally at home sleep at the time of this murder, then okay. But if I don't know that, I'm not hooping and hollering.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, man. That situation I would definitely need to read more about it, read deeper into it. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I would definitely need to read more about it, read more into it to, really have a understanding of what's really going on. Because from the beginning of the story, It's saying that he was found guilty of first degree murder while committing a drive by, second degree intentional murder, second degree murder while committing a drive by shooting, and drive by shooting in connection with the shooting death of Roberts and injuries sustained by Reginald Nichols. Bobo appealed his conviction,
And
but his direct
mhm.
appeal, who stayed pending his petition for post conviction relief. His direct appeal was combined with his appeal of denial of his petition for post conviction relief. But I'm like, you know, again, the charges is drive by. Are you trying to say that you wasn't in the car? I'm not understanding. Are you trying to say that you was forced to do it? Are you saying you was just in the back seat? You getting
I
charged with
feel
the
like the little bit that I read, I feel like he's trying to basically say they can't prove that he was there. And then I also feel like with the informant, because I read a part where they said even though he was supposed to be an informant, he his his stories weren't reliable. Like they weren't credible. Then he when it came to time to take the stand, he didn't want to take the stand. So it's just a lot with it. I think that's probably what they're trying to build their case around. I guarantee you, if you read further, that's probably more than likely what they're trying to build their case around. I did read down to where it was mentioning something about gang members being allowed to come in the courtroom. So the informant, yeah, basically was saying that the reason why he I guess came back later and was saying like the reason why he decided that he didn't want to testify once he got on the stand is because gang members were allowed to come in the courtroom. So he's
I mean,
basically saying that he feared his life.
but even then, I can understand that. When people seeing you on stage or just being able to walk in and see you on stage, you're nervous about that situation. But if yo, if yo, if you tell on somebody, that shit gonna be in the paperwork.
Discovery and motion. Yeah, the
Yeah,
transcripts.
you're gonna be able to read it and tell that you still told. If they there or not, you're still gonna be able. Your name's still gonna come up if you go on stand. If you take the stand, your name's gonna be in the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Like, your name don't have to be in it. If they say we have a witness, they don't. They won't say your name because they won't tell who the witness is because they don't want people to know who gonna be going to tell. But once you actually get up on that stand and you say something, people there or not, all they gotta do is pull up the paperwork and then see who said what. So I can understand why he didn't want to, do that or tell on somebody or whatever. But it's my life or yours in certain situations.
So once you signed up, though, once you, because okay, this is what happened with him. He was already in jail on another charge. I think it was robbery or something.
Hmm.
So he decided to reach out to the police and give information into that particular incident. And his testimony or his whatever police report, however you want to say it, that he gave to them is what got him out of jail. So were you doing this to just get out of jail and now you're reneging? I mean, are you really fearful? What you? I mean, because I feel like everybody knows. Y'all. We talked about the street code before, so everybody knows the rules to the game. Once you automatically signed up to give that information, you already knew what you were in store for. So why wait till you get to the stand and then feel fearful? You already knew you was gonna have to face the heat, regardless whether they came in the courtroom or not.
Yeah. I don't know what these dudes on. I don't know what this situation is. This what my question is. What made this? What made you come up with this? Where did you come? Where did this come up at? This,
Actually,
this happened in 2006.
you talking about me?
Mm-hmm.
Some of our viewers send me stuff. So
Okay.
when I was saying I didn't have a topic, then it was sent to me. Yeah, I get a lot of my topics are sent to me, but I usually, have time to like really, what I'm saying, read up on it and do my research.
Oh, okay. So you sent it to me like a little bit late, so I definitely wasn't able to go through this and
Yeah.
see what all was going on. So I really don't want to speak on it because, like I said, I don't know what's going on too much. Like all I know is from the jump, it said that dude was charged with the drive-by shooting. So I'm just like, okay, I don't know how. I don't know how. I mean, listen. I mean, it could be a wrong place at the wrong time type situation where somebody said it was you and it really wasn't. I would definitely need to go ahead and read through all this, but this is down there. Like,
Well, what I did read, it didn't say like it wasn't. It was the witnesses. They didn't say like they basically described a US. What? No, not a USB. A UV. What the hell you call a truck? SUV. They
yeah,
described the
Tahoe.
SUV, dark color, four doors, tinted windows, but they didn't necessarily describe a person. And so when this informant comes to the police, he pretty much kind of basically gave them information that fit kind of like the little bit of information they already had as far as the vehicle, and they did something with the phones. You know how they do that with the towers and placing you here at this time. And you know what? All the police shows that I watch, because I watch the ID channel heavily, it's always people get caught up by the phone towers, and I'm like, so people haven't got common sense enough to know, like, if you're gonna go commit a crime, leave your goddamn phone at home so you can look like you've been sitting at home at least. Like, I don't get it. This is how they crack a lot of their cases.
Even the phone that these people are not real criminals, man. They just do stupid shit, which makes them a criminal, but not career criminals, man. The career
The
criminals totally
dumbest
different, man.
criminals.
Mm-hmm.
The dumbest
Some
criminals.
people do shit off instinct. Like some people just gotta handle that shit right then and there, so they're thinking about how to handle it or the outcomes. Like, you know what I'm saying? One thing I'm not gonna do, if I fight a nigga in the hood and I take a L a lot of time, well, with me coming from the background I came from, if I fight somebody in the hood anyways, if I lose, I'm just coming back to fight you. I ain't coming back to shoot you. But this new generation of people, I don't think they understand how many people have seen them get into it with such person. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
whoever they done got into it with, now all of a sudden they come up dead 2 days later. We already know who to look at. Y'all was just fighting 3 days ago, like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Instead of letting that shit die off, and then the nigga coming up dead a year or two later, like, you know what I'm saying? But people got to act off instinct right then, and now you seeing your ass behind bars and shit. So it's just like I don't think people, understand how to handle something. They just feel like they just gotta react off instinct. It gotta be done right now, and then they lose their whole life, and for taking somebody else's. But drive-bys, I don't know, man. I don't know why people even do drive-bys. You ain't even. I mean, you gotta have hella aim to do a drive-by.
Yeah, and most of the drive-bys that they do, they never get the damn person they supposedly intended to get. They get innocent bystanders, people who have
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with it at all.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know, man. This is one that I would definitely have to read into. I would definitely do this topic with you later on after I've been able to actually sit down and comprehend the story. Um, then I could speak my thing. But it does say that a man named James testimony incriminated Bobo. So it sounds like you said, it could be somebody who had nothing to do with it, but trying to get less time or lesser sentence because it says something else about James speaking on another murder that he had put it on somebody else, but it was actually on him. So I don't know. Like I said, I just need to read that before I
Yeah,
go into it.
yeah, because it was a lot, so I definitely have to read it and take my notes. So the what we were speaking on yesterday about Rashad Jamal. So is
Hmm.
he still locked up, or is he out, or what's going on?
Um, I believe he's still locked up as of now. from my understandings, I believe that he is still wrapped up. Uh, they saying that he got more than one killing and all this other stuff, but I do believe he's still locked up. But last I heard, he should be coming home soon. So, because they only accusing him, he hasn't been charged. He hasn't had to go to trial for it. He's just being accused of it. So,
So how long has he been locked up?
he been locked up for so he got locked up for total different reasons than what the accusations that's coming out on him now
Oh,
is. So he got
okay.
locked up because he had a gun on him. He was a felon. He tried to run away from the police, whatever, whatever. And so he basically either violated his parole or he just wasn't supposed to have a gun for being a felon or however that works out. So he got locked up, and I think they sentenced him to like 5 years for that. And then while he was in jail, that's where all the guy like two murders in Alabama, and the child molestation situation, and all that other weird stuff that they're trying to put on him now after he get locked up for having the gun on him. But like I said, that dude right there, he just different, man. I believe that they always want to bring down people, especially people of color, who gives out more information than what the people want. Because he's very woke, he's very intelligent, and he knows things that he can. I don't know if I was talking to you, because I've been on a few podcasts lately, so I can't remember if it was on yours or what. But I remember, I think it was yours. Where I was like, man, we need those preachers who gonna talk to us and not preach to us.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think it was
Yeah, it was
yours.
me when I want to say Mama G.
Yep, it might have been Mama G on there, and I think somebody else that came on there too. Um, but yeah,
Oh
and
no, no,
he
no! It was a guy you had on your podcast. That's what it was.
okay. Yeah, I thought they was gonna let him go too, Miss Lynn. But yeah, he basically like one of those dudes where he gonna talk to you. He not about to he not about to beat around the bush. He really gonna just talk that shit. Like, and it's easier for him to get through to people when you talking on a level of where people can understand. And he was one of those ones where, because he's not the only one, but he definitely one of those ones where um he can get you to listen to what he's talking about. Have you ever listened to him?
No. Mm-mm.
No.
Who is it? You talking about Rashad Jamal, right?
Right.
No. Actually, I got caught up in the whole thing of that man is full of shit. He was molesting kids, this and that, and not doing the research myself until I
Hmm.
listened to you yesterday. So
Yeah. See, so you need
yeah.
to go. You need to go check him out, man. He's not a that's why I told you, like, he don't give me that child molestation vibe. Like, I can get the murder vibe from him. Like, if he I remember him saying one day on the show, he was like, y'all sit here and do all this. I could, he's like, I ought to snap y'all necks or something. Like, so I can get it. He might fucking nigga up, like, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely don't get the child molestation vibes though. I definitely get a real vibe from him, man. And you should check him out because he got a lot of this. He gives out a lot of information. Like, think of me times 30. Like, when I be trying to give out information of the shit that I be finding, like, that's him, like, 100%. Like, I'm just sitting here researching. He knows about this shit. He actually sits there and spends his time. When I'm talking about the crystals, to the crystal necklaces, to the to the to the crystal wrist, to the candles, to the all the spirits, like all the ancestors. He talks about all of that, like, and he know what he talking about, and he don't talk to you just on some old dry. He don't give you a dry talk. Like, he more like, why the fuck? Like, he one of them. How the fuck y'all bring us over here to America, and y'all rather spend all that money getting and not what he said? Y'all rather spend all this money on transporting slaves from Africa to America, and we can't find out one of y'all boats, or we can't. He like, all them boats. Where the fuck is all them boats? Or Yeah, right. He definitely got some good information, man. He like y'all have all these slaves over. Y'all come over here and kill all the Indians, and then drop y'all like we ain't from here. Y'all think we ain't from here? Y'all come over here and kill all the natives, and then want to go to Africa and bring a whole bunch of slaves back, and half of them don't even make it over here. And y'all wasting all that money and time and food and all that to get them back over here when y'all already got people over here. Why y'all lying? Like he gives out the real information on this shit that goes on, man, in this world. And I think that that's why, again, like I said, you get the people, and no disrespect to you, Miss Londa, but you get the people who won't do their research on this man, but they hear the bullshit about him and be like, yeah, I heard he this, that, and the other, and don't know anything else about him. And
Yeah.
that's the whole motive, and that's their whole motive when we're talking about people like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you give it on, when you got a person that's gonna give you a whole bunch of information and everybody don't know about him, we need to nip this in the bud now. He's a child molester. He's a murderer. Now you don't even want to look him up because this is the things that you heard
Yeah.
about him.
I
You know
have
what
to
I'm saying?
admit that I'm guilty of that because I had a friend who that's how I found out about him. She told me about him. She was like, everybody talking about this Rashad Jamal, and they talking about free him. He's in a cult. He's a child molester. He done molested kids, and and this and that or whatever. So I'm like, oh, I automatically felt like, yeah, he's guilty. But then, like I said, when I heard you speaking, then that made me kind of want to like look into it more and then be able to voice my own opinion. But I want to just say, Drunk, thank you for tuning in, and I'm glad that you're still showing up when you see my shows, because I have been lacking, because I got a lot of other stuff in the background. But no matter what, Sundays never go away. I show up on Sundays regardless, but I'm working to get my regular shows back into play. Miss Londa, you had us spoiled with a new show and I'm glad I just voiced that. Yes, I'm working on getting it back intact. Trust me. But I thank you though for sticking in. I do. Yeah, it was saying something about him molesting. It said in the article that I read that he molested some kids or supposedly, but I didn't really see where they broke it down and said they had, like, where did this you know what I'm saying? Where did that come from? How did they come about saying that? Did somebody come forward and say he touched their kids? Did the kids come forward and say that he, you know what I'm saying, touched their kids?
You said that they were saying that he was touching kids.
I'm trying to figure out, like, where did that come from? Like, did they come with, like, okay, we got this person came forth and said this. How did they get this? Where did they get this from?
Um, I want to say it was from his baby mama. I gotta look into
Mm,
that too. So when he was with his kid's mother, he that's when I was telling you about. He had that deal, and let me see, he had that deal, and he turned down the deal. Um, I'm trying to pull it up, but he had a deal, and I guess he turned it down, and then that's when him and his kid's mother got into it. But the molestation is not as big as the murders. That's what I'm saying. Like I think the molestation is just something that they just trying to throw
through on
in there. Yeah, it says accused of sexually abusing the child of his previous romantic partner and facing additional counts of cruelty to children. In his recent address, he said the child abuse charges were false. The oppressor seeks to label me as a pedophile because I had the courage to speak out against them and expose their lies, plots, and plans within the satanic kingdom. He said, as opposed to labeling me as what I really am, which is a black activist, scientist, philosopher, historian, philanthropist, author, revolutionary poet, and a public speaker working hard to raise the vibration of the collective consciousness. He likened himself to like Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Left Eye, Prince Diana, Michael Jackson, Kanye West, Bill Cosby, and Kobe Bryant, all of whom were assassinated brought down by false charges or put under MK Ultra for trying to expose the unspecified satanic plots and schemes he seeks to uncover. Um, yeah, dude, I'm trying to find the molestation charges. It's hard because even when I typed in Richard Jamal molestation, and it's still just bringing up mainly the two murders, the two murders, two murders, two murders. It's not even really speaking on too much of the sexual assault case. Uh,
I think that's why they're saying he's in a cult too, drunk. Um, because they kind of, I did see some stuff on YouTube where it did say like one of his cult members or something spoke out. It was a young lady. I didn't listen to it, but yeah,
man,
there
ah,
was there was things said to me that he thinks he's God, and it was just little stuff like that that kind of like
he
I
is
should share.
God. I'm God. We all God. See, I think we got this God stuff twisted, man. Even if you want to go into the Christianity religion and speak on it, what did God say He made us in? He made us in His image. So wouldn't that make us God? Like it would make us the God. It wouldn't make us God over everybody else, but it would make us a God if we're made in God's image. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to say I'm about to sit here and pray to Rashard Jamal, but at the same time, though, I understand what he's saying when he say he's a God. Like he is a God. Like a lot of times they try and take that from us. As far as what we really are in spirituality, they want you to feel like you are a person that needs to work and work and work and work and work to live, when you're really working for somebody else who don't have to work. When you become a boss, yeah, right. Right. That's what, like, we not the supreme. Like, we not we not the creator. I mean, in a sense, you women are. Y'all create children all the time. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, we walk around with the seeds to help create those children. So we do create. Um, but I think that people do take that out of context when a man say that they God, like they don't understand it. They don't understand how to look at that situation of what a person is saying. Like they just take it all the way to the max, like Bro just said. Like they just take it out of context, like they don't understand it. And if you think about it, like you get all these people who do follow these new age religions, motherfuckers act like Jesus was around 50,000 years ago. Like you look at the times, and from my understanding, he was only around for 2022 years ago, because that's when he supposedly died. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 2,000 years ago or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So he wasn't even around that long for everybody to just all of a sudden follow somebody who just came along within the last 3,000 years. You see what I'm saying? All of a sudden, you got to go to this Jesus, 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 Jesus. And I don't got a problem with Jesus. I'm just saying, all of a sudden, this is where we're supposed to go to. This is where we're supposed to pray to. What about who our ancestors was praying to? What was our ancestors doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's the type of dude Rashard Jamal is, where he brings you that information, man. He give you that real information to where you don't just be stuck traditionally on what you were taught just because you had no choice. And you had no choice but to get up and go to church because your grandmother or your mother made you. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what everybody doing now. I'm going to Jesus. I'm going to church. I'm going to this. I'm doing that. This is church. The pastor said. The pastor said. The Bible said this, that, and the other. When in actuality, what was people reading before the Bible? Who was people praying to before the Bible? That's when you go into your actual. That's when you actually go into your understandings of who you are and where you come from. You know what I'm saying? That's what. And to be honest with you, what do you say? Back in the day, Jesus would have been considered the new age, right? Um, and to be honest, even if you go into Jesus, even if you go into Jesus, there's a story from our ancestors of a man named Horus, hold on, Horus. His name was Horus, and he has the exact same story as Jesus. And his story came from like what 20, maybe 40,000 years ago. Real life story. You ever heard of Isis?
I've
Uh,
heard of ISIS.
and
Yeah.
Osiris, I believe Isis is his mother. Um, and his story is the exact same from leaving for 30 years to all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? His story is the exact same, and it comes from the African culture, the African history. And so then you look at his story side by side with Jesus' story, and you're like, oh shoot, hold on, what are y'all doing? Y'all just take somebody's story and make it into your own. Like, man, you really gotta research it. And this should be real. Like, it really be real. Like, it really be real life shit going on, man. It's just hard to really know
Yeah.
if you don't
And
research it, man. I actually got a video that I want to play. It's not gonna get you in no trouble or nothing. It's not a YouTube video either, and it's not a definitely a rabbit hole. It's not gonna get you banned. It's not like a copyrighted video, so it shouldn't be no issue. It's not one of those.
okay,
Let me
while you're doing that, so I'm to answer your question, drunk. I'm gonna start filming October 22nd for the Finding Love show, and but I also have a couple of other shows that I'm working on. So yesterday I did my first recording for the cooking show that I have, which is called Sip Cook and Talk Shit with Ms.Londa. So I did my first recording on that, and I'm working on editing that and getting it sent to the TV network. Then I have another one that I'm working on. It's called Talk About It with Miss Londa and Candyman TV. So we're working on that. That is in process. So that's why, I've kind of been lacking a little bit, but I've got enough footage or content that I have sent to the network that now I can kind of pace and kind of move and get back into my regular groove.
So this video right here is just to give you like a little sum of what my dude be on, man. It's just to give you a little sum of it. You know what I'm saying? This ain't really about too much, but this just a real quick sum of what he really be on. Intelligence. Okay, so when you think of a mirror has intelligence. A lot of people are not aware of how much intelligence that a mirror actually possesses, but it has a lot of intelligence. Okay, and mirrors are occupied and full of fallen angels, tricksters, gypsies, and genies. Right, the exact genies that live in mirrors will be the red genies, to be exact, because the red genies are some of the most low vibrational, or what we like to call evil genies of the genies. You got three different types of genies. Okay, and for those individuals that grew up in the Islamic religion, you call them jinn in Islam. But this is a real thing. These are fallen entities, malevolent spiritual beings, right? They call them jinn in Arabic. They call them jinn in the Islamic religion. But we might call them as jinns. Okay, you got three types of jinns. You got green jinns, you got blue jinns, you got red jinns. The blue genies are the good genies. Most of the blue genies, they are like, they can be tricksters too, but they are mostly big on actually fulfilling the wishes of human beings. Right? The God species, we didn't ever have to go to the genies for no source of help because we create just like the genies can create. So a lot. This is where they get the whole idea of Aladdin from. Okay, of Aladdin from. Right, and remember, what did Aladdin do? What was the genie in? The genie was in what? In little kettle. And when he first rubbed it, he seen his reflection, a mirror image of himself, before he even opened it up and let the genie out. Okay. Now you got. So yeah, that's what I'm saying about my dude, man. He just more or less give you information, and he breaks it down to you more easily. That's why it's hard for me to like think that while he thinking about all of this, in his meantime he feel like he finna go touch on the child or something. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't. I don't see that. That's the type of stuff he do. Remember that entrepreneur dude you interviewed? I ain't gonna lie, that was one of the best interviews. Bro was talking about hustling like it was an art form.
I agree with you, and that is because I've actually been going through some of my past shows that I've done to even edit them and send them for the TV content as well, and that is one of the ones on the list that I will be sending to put on there. What's that?
Let me go online and say something.
Did it
Sad.
come up yet? Oh, okay, there you go.
It's funny because women get online and say the same stuff Rashad Jamal do all the time, but when a man starts talking like this, we gotta dig up his past.
You know what? I can agree with him. I remember one night I was on TikTok and I was like, "What the hell?" As I kept strolling, all that was coming up was all. It wasn't just women though, but it was just all these different astrologers, and I'm like, so now everybody's into being a psychic. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was some type of ability, like you had to be born with or have, like. And I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, listen, I wouldn't say it was an ability. It's an ability. I would say that the real problem becomes is that we use our brain towards so much bullshit that we don't know what our abilities is. Again, if you go into the Christian realm of it, or if you want to be Christian religious and you want to follow the Christian ways, it says right there, we are made in God's image. So therefore, we have a lot of God-like qualities. I mean, we got five senses that we know of for sure. You know, touch, taste, smell, hear, feel. Like you know what I'm saying. So we know we got senses. We got things that we got some type of powers. Like you know what I'm saying. Then you look at humans compared to animals, and animals are very in tune. Like you know what I'm saying. But you got humans compared to animals, and the way that we communicate, the way that we live, the way that we build. Um, we have a lot of gifts that we don't tap into because number one, we got 8 hours of work or school. We got another 8 hours of being with family or handling business, and then another 6 to 8 hours of sleep. So we don't even really get to use our brains to the capacity that we should be using our brains. If we really just had the time to sit back and think and learn how to do stuff, we probably could have some telekinetic communities. I mean, conversations, or you know what I'm saying, be able to move things with our mind, or bend spoons and shit like that. It probably could be quite possible. um but I see that a lot of people are waking up because they are starting to stop dealing with the bullshit that's been coming on lately. A lot of the bullshit that's going around lately is not intriguing as it once used to be. um After a while, everybody get tired of the reality TV or the reality this or that and the other. Like, you know, it's just the same shit. After you start looking at it and seeing that it's the same shit and everything just becomes the same shit, it's like, now what can I do different? A lot of people don't even know how to grow tomatoes. A lot of people don't even know that you can talk to your plants. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know these things that is actually in nature. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's just internet this, TV that, work. Kids, internet, TV, work. Like nobody just
That's
really
a
sit
strong.
down.
Before you
Hmm?
carry on, that's a strong. That's a strong statement that Drunk just made. But back to you saying about the garden and everything. See, we know these things because of our age. So when we was coming up, we didn't have internet. I think by the
Mhm.
time I turned, I want to say close to 18 is when the internet started really coming out. But my
Mhm.
mom grew a garden. We had to go out there and pick them tomatoes and clean them and the cucumbers and all of that. So we got to know, we got to learn that knowledge. But now this day and time, it's not like that. It's like the internet just kind of like controls everything.
That's what
Like, you
I'm.
know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm
Parents,
saying.
if they want to get their kids out their hair, they throw them a tablet or a phone,
That's what
and
I'm
the phone
saying.
kind of like takes care of them, or the tablet takes care of them. There's no structure to it. You know what I'm saying? So
Shit, half of them don't even put parental guidance on the shit, so them they just pulling up shit. You type in T, next thing you know, you get in all kinds of drama because you thinking that you finna go look up a drink, and they giving you the tea on what's going on in the world. Like you're like, what? I just typed in tea.
or
Like I'm trying to find.
like when you on TikTok, you can clearly see. that a lot of parents aren't aware of what their kids are doing on TikTok, because if you're on TikTok and you clearly see a kid in their room popping and shaking, you can tell they're in their room. So it's like, okay, you're just able to just get on the internet freely and do what, you know what I'm saying? Now all it takes is for somebody to hit them in the comments, and it could be, a grown person trying to, what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, steer them away from home or whatever. And you don't even know
Mm-hmm.
this is going on because you just threw them a tablet. Get out my face, go in your room.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know.
And that's where you start to see how the generation where I talk about the Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, where they trying to kill off the older generation and the older traditions. That way it can all be new. And that way it can be dumbed down, and the motherfuckers who don't know nothing is in control now, and that we can easily control them because they don't know nothing. See what I'm saying? So if you don't know nothing, then we can control you by teaching you what we want to teach you. So you get all these different, you know, uh, viruses and things like that coming out. But what does that do with the younger people? They're able to fight these viruses off because their body is still growing. Their body is still pushing out insulin and pushing out all kinds of antibodies, you know what I'm saying, and making new antibodies because they're growing, they're still getting older. Unless they were born with like some type of birth defect or something like that. But for sure, they're you see who it's affecting. It's affecting the older generation. And if you can get the big mamas out of the way, you can get the granddads who actually know something out of the way. You can get them out of the way. Now we can control this generation who don't know nothing. And
Yeah.
here you go with the, oh, this movie about to come out, I gotta go see it. So I can make a bullshit ass movie now and everybody go see it and ain't nobody gonna tell them not to because we just want you out of our fucking face. I can tell you to go sit down and watch fucking cartoons, and I can make a cartoon with all kinds of sexual symbols in it, and as long as you out of my face, I don't care. More or less than me sitting here watching you weed out my garden, or helping me weed out the garden, or helping me build a fence. No, we can just call somebody to build the fence, and we can sit home and chill. Um, we used to play curveball. I don't even seen kids play curveball.
I was just gonna speak on that. Like, I don't see kids racing no more. I don't see double dutch. I don't see kids riding their bikes up and down the street, skating, even getting into little fights. You know what I'm saying? I don't see none of that no more. When I lived over north, my kids was younger. When it was real hot outside, somebody would go and pop the thing off the fire hydrant, and they would run through it. I don't see none of that type of stuff going on anymore.
I mean,
Kids are not kids anymore.
you don't even got the you don't even got the big mama house where the whole family come and all the
Eat
kids get
Sunday
to play
dinner,
together.
and she make
Yeah,
everybody get in the kitchen and assign jobs, and the men gotta go do something outside, or you know what I'm saying? Just, it's not structured like that anymore, and it's so crazy.
but that's because of the control. That's what I mean. Like once you get the control of the people and you put them in a position where they feel like they can call somebody if they uh, don't like their position, they can make a call and get out of their position, or um, they don't have to depend on you anymore because I got my Section 8, or I get my food stamps, so I don't got to eat your shit because I can just get it from the government, so I ain't even worried about what you cooking. I can cook my own, this, that, and the other, and there is no more structure. Now, once you get that, you get the older people who don't want to deal with those attitudes, so now they're not doing it anymore. And then if they're dying off, then they really not dealing with it no more. And now you really lose your structure because once the person who had the control, who we knew not to play with, once that person is out the way, now who in control? Everybody trying to take that position, but you can't take that position because you don't even have the right attitude for the position. Like how to say,
I'm gonna tell you when we lost control, though, boom. And this doesn't go to say that abuse is okay. I mean, there is limitations as to how you're supposed to discipline a child. But when they start bringing it into the schools and saying, you know, if this is going on at home, if the, you know what I'm saying, then that opened the doors for these kids to feel like all I have to do is go say I'm being abused. And you know what I'm saying? And a lot, 9 chances out of 10, most of them aren't really being abused. They just want to be hard headed and do what they want to do. And the minute something doesn't go their way, then they run into them people and saying this and saying that. Now you got these people in your business, and a lot of parents, they get scared. You know what I'm saying, because of that. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to ever be in a position to feel like they're finna lose their kids. That's not a good feeling. Trust me, it's not a good
Well,
feeling. So when they put that in place, that kind of like put a big damper on a lot of stuff.
I can attest to that as far as understanding that the parents do be out here scared. But that's a part of really not having control over your children, because I just recently went through something like that where my daughter was telling her counselor she was feeling like a slave in her own home. Um, well, not a slave. She felt like she was a prisoner in her home because she's been in her room for most of this year and last year. Like, she's just been in her room. But what she don't seem to understand is that, why would I let you come out your room when you don't keep your room clean? I gotta tell you to do this, tell you to do that. Every time you come out, something missing, this, that, and the other. So when she goes and tells them that, and then they want to come to my house and speak to me, which they only came once and they never came back, it's because, number one, when they walked in my house, it wasn't dirty. Number two, my refrigerator was full. Number three, it didn't smell like fucking weed and 17 motherfuckers running in and out of there. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times people put themselves in that position to where they gonna be scared of the situation because of what they already got going on around them. They don't have that control. So you gonna go talk to these people, or you feel like you want to go ahead and go. They'll put you in the fucking house with 17 other kids who either never had their parents or parents didn't do right by them, really, and then you'll really get the gist of what's going on in your life. A lot of times these kids just think that they supposed to have everything that they want because they see other kids doing it, and then they can just, if they don't get what they want, they can go tell somebody. I tell my kids quick, go tell them, go let them know what the fuck going on if that's what you feel, and then go with them if you want to go with them. A lot of times
Yeah,
parents think that they have to deal with the child's attitude. You do not. You do
no,
not have
you
to do it.
don't.
But I tell my kids all the time, y'all can't even wipe y'all ass without me. Like, y'all can't wash y'all ass without me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can't buy me no toilet paper. Like, I've told my kids, I've even told my kids, like, y'all are loved but not needed. You see what I'm saying? Because I never woke up and was like, I need to go buy you some, or excuse me, how did I state it? I need it's a need for me to buy you something. You see what I'm saying? It's not a need for me like, oh my God, I need to go buy my child some. It's something that I have no choice to do because you are my child. You see what I'm saying? But it's not something that's just like, I can't live without buying you no shoes. No, I have no choice but to buy you no shoes. But it's not gonna be like my life if I have to have kids in order to buy them shoes. If I'm making that make sense, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, yes, we need to go and make sure that our kids are taken care of because they are our kids. But what I'm saying is, it's not like something that a person wakes up and just be like, I can't live today if I don't have no children to buy them shoes. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's the point
Yeah,
I'm trying to make.
but
I
also
if
another thing that kids need to learn to understand is you only have to have the necessities. So you
Yeah,
only have to have shoes on your feet, but they don't gotta be Nikes or Jordans. So if I bought you some Jordans for your birthday this year, but can't do it next year, and you want to act crazy and get the acting, we're gonna act crazy together. You know
facts.
what I'm saying? That's the thing. Those are the things that's missing. Like, I see parents really go haywire because, oh, my son want this for his birthday, and I got no. Well, if you can't get it, you can't get it. But if you can give him something, that's something. You know what I'm saying? And
Man,
then
I
going
tell
back to where you say parents doing stuff and this and that, and they don't want that to come out. That goes back to how I was raised. I was not allowed to be around adults, period. When I came
Mhm.
in from school, if my mom had company, hello, I had to speak, keep it moving, go to your room, change your school clothes, do your chores, do your homework, then you can go outside. I was never allowed to sit around grown people. And I followed that same guidance when I was raising my kids. I don't believe in talking around kids and doing all that extra shit. I just don't like it.
It's just
I can't even if I'm around a friend who allows their kids to sit around adults, I'm not talking. I don't give a fuck what the conversation is. I'm not basing my opinion. I ain't saying shit because a lot of kids get a lot of shit stirred up too. I don't do it.
and don't even be knowing what they be talking about. Like they don't even
Yeah,
understand.
be having it all misconstrued and all fucked up. Now parents is fighting over with this little motherfucker that said it didn't even know what they was talking about. All types of
Man,
shit.
that's why I tell them like, man, can you buy me some toilet paper? Like, can you buy the dish soap to wash these dishes? Can you buy your rags to wash your ass? Can you know what I'm saying? Can you do these things for me? Because if you can't, then you need to hear what the fuck I'm talking about. Other than that, go about your business. Go tell somebody that you got a problem. But one thing that you can go do is one thing that y'all can start doing is going to tell them that y'all ain't got no internet, no TV, and no video games, and see what the fuck they say to y'all. You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna
See how
tell
they.
them that you know. Well, do you think you need to have those things? Because let me tell you something. I did foster care. The list they gave me as far as what these kids, as far as what they had to have, and how much you just had to spend as far as like clothing, a birthday gift. Anybody in a right, well, care in mind, would not go by that list. There's no way that I'm gonna only have a jogging suit, a one pair of tennis shoes, a pair of dress shoes, and some a dress shirt and dress slacks in case of court, and that's what it said in the paper. How the one pair of slacks and a shirt? How the hell? Who makes a child live by that? There's no way.
There is no way. Now I will say that like that's not definitely not a good look to just have a child with one outfit that they could just wear every fucking day. But the necessities that these children do think that they need to have is definitely not real necessities, and some of these kids are definitely ungrateful for the things that they have and the ways that they still act because like if your refrigerator is full of food and you eating every night. I seen a lady tell a joke one day. She said her nephew came to her and was like, what are we eating for dinner tonight? And she said she was appalled because she was like, he used dinner and tonight in the same sentence. She was like, when I was younger, I used to go and ask my mama, are we eating today? Because tonight almost over. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like y'all definitely don't even understand how grateful y'all are because it's kids out here who don't eat. You know what I'm saying? Let alone
Yeah,
on TVs, on this, on that, and y'all mad because y'all got to clean up y'all room. Y'all not even. You know what I'm saying? Y'all
I
bring
remember having
no.
one TV. Like these kids, they got TVs in their rooms and all that. I had a TV in my room because I was the only girl and I was the oldest. So my mom put the TV in my room. But I had to let my brothers, and I used to beat them up and everything because I didn't want them in my room. But I mean, come on, like they better think about a lot of the stuff that we had that we didn't have. They did, that they do have
I ain't
and
gonna.
appreciate it.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm so close to going back to that to where y'all about to fight over the remote, where y'all about to get an hour apiece. You know what I'm saying? Because all my kids but two have their own TVs, and the two that don't have their own TVs share a room, and the other ones they all got their own TV. And then at this point, it's like y'all still like not understanding. Like I shouldn't have to tell y'all every day to clean up y'all room or every day to do this or do that. Like you know what I'm saying? Because y'all should already know those little things, and then y'all should already understand how much more y'all can get. But instead, I gotta tell y'all, then I gotta take shit away from y'all, tell y'all, take shit away from y'all, and y'all really just don't understand. I understand that with their kids. I do get that point. But at the same goddamn time, how is it more easier for you to grab a Roku remote than to grab your toothbrush? Like first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is grab the remote. Like what the fuck? First
Yeah.
thing you do. That's the first thing you think of.
That's why that a lot of that stuff from back in the days need to come back. I'm telling you, like on the weekends, my mom, and it will be random as hell. She'll know you probably doing the shit and just let it pile up. She'll come at one weekend, pull it, come in that room because I had my drawers was labeled like the top drawer was underwear and socks, second drawer was pajamas, third drawer was the t-shirts. I mean your shirts and stuff. Pants had to be hung up. Let her come in the room and see anything stuffed in the drawer and it's not in the right drawer. Everything is getting tore out from the drawers to the closet. Now you got to spend your Saturday hanging up, folding clothes, put them in the right order, cleaning up. Bet not get caught lacking. That's how you
Man,
spending your
listen.
Saturday.
Man, listen. Maybe Sunday too. Shit. Fuck around with me.
No,
Cause
I was trying
I'm
to
the
get my
type,
shit done quick. Fuck that.
man. I will take see, and that's my thing, like it's the repetitive nature. Like I don't expect y'all to do anything for adults but for yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? There is no reason to why it's easier for you to find a remote than it is for you to find socks for school. So I'm petty like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's, you know, you gotta wear socks every day. We know we need socks every day. I'm telling you to get your clothes together before you go to night. I mean, before you go to bed at night. You supposedly got your clothes. I see your clothes. Then the next day you still can't find your shit. You don't know where you put it at. Like, how the fuck did you lose those? So I'm the type to be done took the TV from you for the whole week just because you ain't found your socks. Like, just to make you try and remember. You know what I'm saying? I get real
Yeah.
petty like that. I would change the internet password on their asses like real quick. Like, you know
You
what I'm
remember
saying?
that
Like,
rule? You
huh?
remember that rule? If one person fucked up, everybody was getting it.
Man, my
You remember
kids
that
hate that.
rule?
My kids hate that. That rule
Man,
still in effect right now.
I think that's my I'm gonna say in my household it was kind of a good rule, but then again it kind of wasn't because I was the oldest, so I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of took advantage of it a little bit, but like my mom would work, she would get off at 4. I would literally be watching soap operas, but my brother, I was making their ass clean up the whole damn house. I was beating their ass, but the house was clean when she got to the crib. Wasn't nothing out of order because I wasn't finna get my ass beat. Y'all finna do
Or
this shit.
and I do that. I still do that as far as one if one mess up all of them, but it just depends on again like what it is. Like I have a 5 year old son. I have a 16 or 15 year old son and a 13 year old daughter, and I am not the type to feel like they have to clean up after my son because that's not their child. That is their little brother, but that's not their child. But at the same time, if I'm gone, I go to the store or I'm wherever I'm at or the mom gone or whatever, and y'all downstairs and y'all leave it's a freaking sandwich on the table for my son. Like and instead of even coming to me and let me know, like, hey, fat man's left his food on the table or whatever, I go down there and get it. That's okay for you to come and tell me that he left his food down there. But to just leave it sitting there for hours at a time, then when I come downstairs, I see an old dry ass sandwich sitting on the paper plate, just sitting on the table, and all y'all, I done heard y'all running up and down the stairs, and ain't nobody said nothing nor thought to move it. Like this is my house just as much as yours, and y'all gonna be sitting here crying when there's roaches and shit crawling around the fucking house. Like you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, either let me know or throw the fucking sandwich away. But why leave it sitting there because y'all didn't do it? It makes no sense. So then I get on all of y'all for it. You see what I'm saying? So I will get on all of them about certain things, but mainly because of the stupidity of just walking past it, not caring, more or less than
Yeah,
not. It's not your job to get it up, but you can at least come say, "Hey, it's some spilled milk on the floor," or it's you know what I'm saying? Just walk past it, or step over it, or just leave it there like you don't see it. Like it's not your job to clean up after your siblings. It's my job as a parent. But at the same time, you can at least say something or let me know because I could be in the middle of something. I could be doing something. You know what I'm saying? Or just get it the fuck up. It's right. It's your house, just like it's mine. And so when you go back into the I can't. It's crazy how the parents go crazy trying to get their kids this that and the other. Man, me personally, we haven't had Christmas. We haven't had Christmases where my kids didn't get anything. It may not have been. We had a few Christmases where they didn't get the best of the best. But I always felt like if I wasn't able to get nothing for them, I would give them the house key. Like we would walk outside and I will give them the house key and we'll walk in there and then I'll tell them to turn the lights on. Like and you better be fucking thankful that you got somewhere to
right.
go and you got some lights. Like you know what I'm saying? Because a
Yeah,
lot of times, man, people do that. Like they go out their way and they fucking really go broke trying to make their kids happy when in
yeah,
actuality the kids should already be happy that they're not sleeping outside
yeah.
or in the dark. Like I don't know, man. These new kids is different. They
I
different.
remember one year I kept getting in trouble in school. I kept getting suspended. And my mom said if I got in trouble one more time, I wasn't getting none for Christmas. But I just felt like there's no way she could not give me nothing for Christmas. There's just no way. Well, I got suspended, and yeah, I didn't get nothing for Christmas. Wasn't allowed to accept gifts from anybody else. But that was the year that she asked each one of us. It was one thing special that she asked us. Did we what we wanted? I wanted a keyboard. My brother asked for a drum set. He got his drum set, so I was mad because I didn't get nothing. And I took the drumsticks and punctured a hole in the drums, and boy, was that the ass whooping of a lifetime.
Man, and
Oh,
that's where my middle daughter at right now, man. Her Christmas is gone, man. I don't think she believe it, but she about to find out. Her Christmas is gone, and last Christmas it's so crazy because last Christmas she had been begging and begging and begging for a laptop, and we finally got her a laptop. And before Christmas night was over, the disc tray was broke out the laptop. I couldn't believe it. Like before it was over, like it wasn't even like 10 o'clock, and the tray was already broke outside. I'm like, how the fuck? How the fuck? It's a $300 laptop, and you done broke the goddamn disc tray to the laptop already. How did you even manage to do that? Like you ain't even got no CDs to put in there. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you just what the fuck? How did you even manage to do that? But yeah, her Christmas gone now because she done already got suspended from school, so her Christmas already over, man. But she finna find out the first Christmas ever for her not getting shit. This is finna be the one, and I can't wait. And I know it's probably sound petty, but I just can't wait. Like I can't wait. I might be wrong, people that's watching, but I can't fucking wait though. I cannot wait till Christmas Day. My daughter ain't getting shit. She might get some clothes, though. I ain't gonna flex. She might get some clothes, but she ain't getting shit she want though. That's over with. Now I might not even wrap them up. I don't even know if I want to give her the good feeling of being able to unwrap something on Christmas. She might just get her shit handed to her.
that's the
Like,
type of stuff that needs to start coming back. And then like also too, parents spending all this money on their kids. I feel like I ain't saying nothing is wrong with it, but I feel like they need to teach them the value and how to appreciate shit. Because if I came home from school without a ball red in my head, I was getting my ass whooped. Like, who was planning your head? Why was you planning your head? It's just a lot of stuff that took place that back then you might have thought, damn, your eyes beat my ass. But then when you grow up and in life, you see like that shit needed to be, you know what I'm saying, taught.
real, man, for real, because y'all going to hair stores, finding the shit, spending your time driving to these damn hair stores, coming back, spending your time putting the shit into their hair, and they don't understand none of that. They just lost a beret. It's just a beret. No, nigga, I done went to the store. I done sat here and dealt with your hard-headed, hot-headed ass, your tender-headed ass. Like, and then you gonna lose shit after I done put all my time into this. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gonna get your ass whipped. And they don't understand because it's just a beret. No, it's not just a beret. That beret took time. Like what the fuck?
Yeah,
Time and man, frustration, all that. Like, don't play with me. Better keep all these goddamn berets and bees in your head. I understand that. But see, my only issue is, man, my main issue that I have as being a parent is with girls. Like I really do wish I would have had all boys because mainly for me it's just punishment and taking shit away with these girls. Like, you know, man, it's hard to I've popped them a few times, but that's probably like 4 years ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's really hard, especially with them being girls. Like I just can't. I just can't. Like I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I've attempted to. I've threatened. I walked around with the belt, but it just never happened. I know they didn't see that shit. Like this thing ain't gonna do shit. Like because they know. But as far as taking that shit away, that's mainly, and it don't seem like it seems to work too much. Because like I just said, my daughter went and talked to her counselor, talking about she felt like a prisoner and she can't come out of her fucking room. She just gotta go straight in the room. Like go do your homework and go to your room. No TV, no nothing. Like no going outside. We got a swimming pool. We can't go swimming. None of that shit. Like you know what I'm saying. And so she feeling all bad. She feel like she's supposed to do this, that, and the other. But as soon as you walk in the room, it's like, what the fuck? You just cleaned it up yesterday. Well, how the hell did this even get in here? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know how the shit even got in there like that she be having, like, especially after we done cleaned it up. So I don't know with these kids, man. I don't know. They different from when
yeah,
I was a kid, though. Man, I know I had a little attitude and shit, but these kids different. Though. I don't know what they be
yeah. You remember your mama be saying something to you, saying some shit under your breath. She'd be like, "What?" And I'd be like, "Nothing."
doing. Mm-hmm.
He done said some shit, but I ain't finna repeat it.
Hmm. And my kids, they so worse. So man, they'll be done fucking told me like, man, like, and they'll wait till everything is cool. Like that. That's what's the funny thing about my kids, man. They don't say nothing right then and there. They'll wait till we having our little family talks, so everything is chill. Like everything is chilled, and they'll bring out all the shit. Like Yeah, man. That she said this about you, or you did say that about that when you was mad at him, and this, that. I'm like, oh, that's how you feel?
Oh, they
Like,
dry snitching.
I
Oh,
snitching. Yeah, they bring all this shit up about everything cool. I'm like, oh, y'all trippy. But I already know though, so I don't be caring. It is what it is. Y'all ain't paying for my toilet paper, so I don't give a goddamn what y'all talking about. Better do what the fuck I'm talking about.
well, I would like to thank you, Boone, for sticking in there with me. I didn't have no topic ready, but we made it work. And thank everybody who jumped in and shared your opinions and thoughts. As usual, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Until the next show, you guys have a good night.
Good night.
Night.